Someone is sticking glue to my antique weapons collection. I mean, they're denying it, but I'm sticking to my guns. Hello, everybody, to a very warm day. I'm inside this very strange little room of mine, and I am sweating like a nun in a cock shop. And that is a real thing. There are places that are cock shops. This isn't a gay drink. This is a rosé cider. I'm feeling summery. I'm fucking roasting. So today, I've sworn a few times in the beginning of this video, haven't I? So welcome to the video, guys. I wore a cap because my hair is fucking swell. No mysteries here, guys, with you guys. No mysteries. I'm fucked. So welcome to the video. Today I thought I'd do something a little bit different because the Xbox 360 store is gone. It is closed. Forget about it. What are you doing there? You're standing outside. You got a little picnic table. You got your sandwiches. You got your fucking ski yogurt. It's gone. They're not coming back. They've closed up. They've been boarded up. There's just that guy from the council coming to make sure the electric's been turned off. No one's opening up anymore. It's done. Stop it. A little bit of windy pops just to see us through for the first minute and a half. Welcome, welcome to the video. So I've got a bunch of games here, and I said to you about don't cheat. Oh, you snuck a peek, you dirty bastards! Stop it. Let me move them over. Now they're gone. You'll never say. You know what? I might just not even reveal them in this video because you were naughty. You dirty boys and girls. Yes, so welcome to the video. So today I want to be doing all my Resident Evil games, and I said to you a bunch of months ago, I said I was going to do some Resident Evil retrospectives. I finally managed to get my first one nearly done. They have taken a fucking age to make, but I'm nearly done the first one. So I wanted to go through every game I own, so I can kind of show you what I own, and then we can go through, and then the retrospectives will be one video of each game. It'll be about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes, just the history of the game, what it's about, blah, 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 blah. Shut your face. But these are games. This is just my collection of This is a collection of Resident Evil games, okay? What more do you want? My cap's on slightly sideways because I fucked about with it. I got a red heart. Look at me. Look a mess. It's your fault making me do this. I didn't want to do this. I wanted to sit in there with a Magnum. Do you have Magnums in America? Who knows? If you do, answers on a postcard. Do you remember that when it was kids? You'd send your postcards in to the broom cupboard and put them up on the wall. Or was that just me just being really old? Anyway, first game, obviously the classic Resident Evil for the PlayStation. There he is. He looks a bit special on the front of there. I'm not going to lie. He looks a bit fucking mental. Look at his face. I mean, he's all kinds of messed up, isn't he? But 1996 this came out. This is one of my pride of joy. I would never sell this. I would rather sell my arsehole to a guy with AIDS than I would this game. That was the sentence. But yeah, Resident Evil obviously came out in 1996. I'm sweating fucking cobs. I'm like, what does that mean, sweating cobs? I've never got that. You're sweating cobs. You're like a bull mastiff. I never got any of that. So yeah, Resident Evil came out in 1996. It's slowly becoming more and more of a hot mess. It came out in 1996, took the world by storm, I think. Resident Evil came out for the PlayStation 1, the Sega Saturn, and a bunch of others, but it was best known for PlayStation. I think they had the first rights to it. But the Sega Saturn one is fucking expensive. If you can ever get your hands on it, go nuts, man, because it's really an expensive version. After that, of course, we have Resident Evil 2. Now, these are PAL versions, so if you're from anywhere other than here, these cases may look slightly different. If you're from Japan, they will say Biohazard on it. But Resident Evil 2 came out in 1998. Oh, it was good. 2 discs. You dirty, dirty peacocks. There they are. Jill's and Leon's career. I got this for my birthday. It came. It did. dirty. Everything's dirty tonight. I'm feeling very, I'm feeling dirty. I may take my trousers off in a minute. I think I have to take something off. I am sweating. This room is like a fucking furnace. I've got so many lights on, and to make the light balance correct, I'm just absolutely sweltering under this hat. So yeah, Resident Evil 2 was another one I had. I remember I spent £40, which was for a new game back then. Can you believe that? 1998, it was still 40 quid for a brand new game. It hasn't really gone up that much when you think about it. Although I think, wasn't it one of the new Call of Duties was like £80 or something? What the fuck does it come with? Does it just suck me off when I turn it? Oh, hello. Yeah, well worth the 80 quid. I could do much better down the road. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. There he is. The original Nemesis. What are you doing down there? Come on, up you come. No, good boy. Not that way. He would drench you. He's a big guy. He would absolutely cover you. Lots of tentacles as well. But there's Jill in a boob tube, looking in all her 2000. I think it was 1999 this came out. But there you go. The third game for the PlayStation. There is a fourth, which is Resident Evil Survivor. I don't have it. I thought I had that one. I must have maybe either lent it to someone or sold it, unfortunately. So I need to get it again. But yeah, those were the three sort of main games that came out, blew everybody's mind. Now we move on to the PlayStation. If I can find the PlayStation games. I could have put them in order, couldn't I? Fuck me, it's not like I've had all after. You peaked again! Stop it! Dirty boy! Dirty boy. I remember when I was a kid, I wanted Resident Evil 2. And my parents were like, let's go. Let's have a day out. And we went out and it was boring. I didn't want to. I was like 14. All I wanted to do was play Resident Evil 2. But I hadn't got it. I wanted my birthday. My birthday money, I got like £45 for my birthday money. And all I wanted was Resident Evil 2. And my parents were like, for God's sake. And then eventually my dad begrudgingly drove me all the way down to this game shop. And I went, I really want to play Resident Evil 2. I really want to play Resident Evil 2. It's all I've ever wanted to do. And I've got it. And he was like, don't moan. And I was like, I won't moan. And I started playing it and immediately got stuck. And I couldn't do it. And I turned it off. And I don't think I played it for like a month. I didn't even get that far. And then I remember he sort of came, he went, enjoying it? Yeah. Yeah, it's good. I had to pretend. I had to bullshit him because I couldn't do it. I couldn't get past the fucking levels, pissing me off. So I just turned it off. Just rage quit. Just never touched it again. Resident Evil Code Veronica. There she is. Claire Redfield is the protagonist in this one. And this was meant to be number 3. You all know the story. This was meant to be number 3, but that beat it to the post. That was meant to be called Last Escape, but then turned into Resident Evil 3 because apparently Sony went, oi, fuck you doing? Because this was originally out for the Dreamcast. This did not come out for the PlayStation. It's Code Veronica X on the PlayStation. I did have the Dreamcast version, but I sold my Dreamcast. It's gone now, so I don't have that version anymore. But this is Code Veronica X. And Sony apparently rang up Capcom and went, excuse me, fuck you think you're doing? Resident Evil's ours. And they went, yeah, but we were looking at other people. He went, no, Resident Evil's ours. Give it back now, dirty boys and girls. And they did. They gave it them back. And they said, well, as long as you've got a game in the mix, we need one out. And they said, yeah, we got one. And obviously, other than that, as you know, Devil May Cry was another Resident Evil idea. They came out with the idea of a medieval sort of setting for Resident Evil, and Devil May Cry was created. And then obviously Dino Crisis was created. So thanks to Resident Evil, other franchises came out, and we had fun with those. So yeah, Call of Duty Veronica 7, which was another game that I don't have, but this one, bit of pops there. Resident Evil Code Veronica X, and it was a really good game. Fucking hard as hell, and really long, like hours and hours and hours long. You think you've done it, but you haven't done it. You've got to go to Antarctica and do more. But really good game. After that was released Resident Evil Outbreak. Don't worry, this isn't the retrospective. There'll be more detail. Is it still on? Boobies. Yeah, Resident Evil Outbreak, which was a game that came out on the wrong console. I think if this had come out on the next console, the PlayStation 3, it would have been a much different story. You play as one of 8 characters. They're not sort of superheroes. They're not Leon. They're not Claire or Chris. They are a bunch of just people, resident Raccoon City survivors, and they each have a certain set of skills. And apparently, I've given him a Scottish accent when, as you know, he's from Northern Ireland, so he's got a certain set of skills. So he has. What was his name? I forgot his name. What was his name? Come on, tell me. Who knows? I've got his face in my head every night when I go to sleep. I have a little bit of a rub. Liam Neeson. There you go. Thanks. But yeah, there you go. Resident Evil Outbreak. You have to get your way from one side of the level to the other. There's like a bar. There's a subway station, and there's like a chemical plant and all sorts of stuff. Not Sonic. But yeah, there you go. Then, because it did quite well, they released file number 2. There it is. I would say I wouldn't even bother pulling him up. I think he's fucked somehow. I think he's at least been bit a few times. I don't think he stands much of a chance. But yeah, this was there was a zoo in this one and a bunch of other things. And the first time you see a leech man in this one, you see a leech man, which is obviously a nod to Resident Evil 0, which came out a little bit further on. The last game to be released on the PlayStation 2 was the wonderful Resident Evil 4. There it is. This was a big deal, but this was also the end of this style with the pre-rendered backdrops and the tank controls. You now had Leon, who was still kind of stuck in a grid when he was moving around, but he did sort of feel a little bit more like an action hero in this one. Graphics were beautiful. Game was fucking batshit crazy. What a game, Resident Evil 4. Yes, please. Yes, please. Thank you very much. After that, we had the GameCube had a little go of it, and they did Resident Evil 0. Now, I've done these out of order, but Resident Evil 0, but actually, sorry, the original Resident Evil was remade on here. There it is. This is perfect. As a Resident Evil game, I'm not going to lie to you, I barely ever go back to the original Resident Evil now on the PlayStation. Or if I want to redo Resident Evil, I do this one. It's so pretty. Even now, it just looks incredible. So, and it was bullshit because the GameCube wasn't that powerful at all. But they did so many incredible things with this. Tiny discs, the tiniest of all the discs. But yeah, Resident Evil, and a very, very, very good game. Resident Evil 0, possibly the hardest game, I think, out of all the Resident Evils, in my opinion. I don't think there's many that are as hard as this. Maybe Code Veronica's close, but this is fucking solid. And it's all due to the way you move around and the buddy system you have with what's his name? Billy, I think it is. Billy and Rebecca Chambers is the main characters in this one. But instead of having the save boxes, the storage boxes, you have to kind of pass things to each other. And sort of certain characters have to be, and you have to make sure each of them has ammunition, and there's so many elements to it. But what a great game. And really hard. But if you defeat it, you are a king amongst men, sir. Or queen. You might be a girl, or you might be a gay. They like being called queens as well, don't they? And they like to be pegged up the bum. So I don't know where that came from. So after that, we had a bit of a lull. There was nothing in the Resident Evil world for a long time after number 4, and then that came out. Now I know what you're going to say, Resident Evil 5. But it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's actually really, really, really cool. Um, it lacked that Resident Evil feel into it. It didn't really have that meat and veg about it. which was a shame because what a great game. It was action packed. It was pretty as anything. Gorgeous looking game. But it never felt scary. You never really felt like you were, having any kind of issues with it. You always felt a little bit overpowered as Chris. You could kind of punch boulders and punch people to pieces. But yeah, very good game. Shiva was a good sort of side character as well. She was quite competent, although she did get stuck a few times. But old AI, what can you do? Next up, they created the wonderful Resident Evil 6. I apologize, I only have the steel case edition. They are, just to prove it. Resident Evil 6 was, to many people, a disappointment, but to be honest, it wasn't a bad game. There were certain elements. There was Leon's campaign, Ada's campaign, Rebecca Chambers' campaign, and Chris Redfield's campaign. Each one was completely different. Each one had its own elements to it. Chris's was probably the worst. Leon's was possibly one of the best and the closest you got to the original Resident Evil. But yeah, just really good fun. It took me a long time to appreciate it, though. When I first played it, I was like, meh. And then after I played it 3 or 4 times, I went, actually, this is actually quite good. And it is. It's a good game. So, yeah. I don't want to go into too much detail because obviously I'm going to do the retrospectives and we're going to go into bigger detail about them. Next up is this one. Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. It was a very, very strange and odd game where you play as one of 4 Umbrella mercenaries which have been sent to retrieve the T-virus. It's not a bad game, but it's not a great game. It could have been better. But hey, it is what it is, and it could be worse. It was fun. It was fun. We won't go into detail here, but like I say, when we do the retrospective on it, we'll delve a little bit deeper into that rabbit hole because it's a big one. Next up, they released the Resident Evil Revelations games. Now, I've got the second one on the PS Vita of all consoles as a download. But yeah, I don't have it as a physical copy, but I do have it to play. That one you play as Claire, and I think you take over as Barry and Barry's daughter at one point. But this one is Jill Valentine. She is sort of searching through a ship. It's good. It is good. Again, a little bit Resident Evil 5, a little bit Resident Evil 4, but a good game. And at this point, the franchise was kind of in free fall. We had no idea where it was going. We wanted that survival horror element back, and we had no end in sight of this particular type of game. Because the Xbox One came along, obviously it was recreate HD versions. Hence, Resident Evil 4 HD is one I've got, and Resident Evil Origins, which is one of the most important ones to own because it actually rebuilt the Resident Evil remake and Resident Evil Zero game and made them all HD and pretty, so you could see what you were fucking doing. Because it is hard going back to RGB when you've kind of had like just normal game, and then all of a sudden I'll go back to RGB, and it's like literally looking at shit covered in Vaseline. It's like, I don't know what any of these shapes mean. Our eyes got too good. We're used to the HD now. Obviously then we struggled. We didn't have much going on. We weren't too sure what was going to happen, and then a demo appeared. And that demo showed us the next generation of Resident Evil, and it was Resident Evil 7. A return to survival horror in my eyes. A company that had seen things like Outlast and what's it called? Amnesia. Sorry, my mind went blank then. And games, and Alien Isolation was another one. And they kind of gone, yeah, first person's the way to go. Really great game. I mean, there were times when you felt very vulnerable and alone and not too happy with the way things were going on this game, but it was a great game and it was good fun to play, and it was a good return to form. But were we ready for what came next? Because what came next, in my eyes, is possibly the single most incredible game ever released for Resident Evil. Resident Evil 2 Remake. So that's my reticle screen. How cool is that? Claire and Leon. Claire and Leon. Um, wow. This is incredible. Now, I was a Resident Evil 2 pro by now. I was like, I can fucking navigate through that place with my eyes closed. This changed it. It was still pretty much the same layout as the original Resident Evils, but oh my God, did they make it scary. The claustrophobic corridors, the constant breaking in of zombies. Um, they introduced Mr. X, who just gives you a shitload of trouble from very, very early on in the game. But this is great. This is great. This was one of the most perfect Resident Evils I've ever played. And if I ever want a Resident Evil experience these days, I usually grab this one. It doesn't disappoint me. It's perfect from the start to finish. The zombies are terrifying and formidable, and they never stop being formidable. But wow, what a game. What a game. And then they released Resident Evil 3 Remake. There it is, with Nemesis on the top. Didn't quite catch the magic of Resident Evil 2. Felt more like an arcade game. I felt this was a little bit more rushed. I felt Capcom were trying to jump on the bandwagon and release something quickly to get it into the market. But it was still very good. The character development was fun. And yeah, it was good. The last game that I own, and one that was the last one we've seen of the Resident Evil franchise as of yet, is Village. Was it a disappointment? Long answer, yes. Short answer, no. Lady Dimitrescu, her part in the castle is possibly one of the most fun parts of the game. After that, it loses it a little bit for me. It gets you psyched up. It's a shame because it's a bit of a cock tease, the first bit, because you go, oh, this is really good. She is fucking sexy and also evil and mean at the same time. She's about 9 foot tall with massive tits, and she just follows you around, tries to kill you all the time. And she is a formidable enemy. It feels very Mr. X. It feels very kind of, you have her daughters that stalk you through the house as well. And it's such a great set piece. And then it loses it. It loses it when you get out of that castle, because you then just start to go through the motions. You're almost waiting for that next Lady Dimitrescu part to come, and it doesn't. The dollhouse is kind of good. That's quite fun. They take all your weapons away, which again kind of puts you on edge. The big massive giant baby's quite creepy. But after that, Heisenberg with the building and what's his name? The kind of weird blob thing that turns into a monster like a fish. Yeah, they don't feel quite as polished and as strong as they should. But yeah, Resident Evil Village was the last one we've seen so far. There is rumors that they are remaking. Well, no, they've remade Resident Evil 4, which I don't own at the moment. I don't have it in my collection. Um, I wasn't too. I like Resident Evil 4, but I just wasn't as psyched as Resident Evil 2. I'm waiting for a unique storyline. But hey, it's good fun, and yes, we're going to wait for the next one to come out. But there you go. That is my collection, and what I'm going to do from now on is every couple of weeks I'm going to release a Resident Evil retrospective video. It'll be about a 10-15 minute video, just talking about that particular game, and yeah, everything about it. And it'll start with this bad boy, the very, very first one, the one that started it all off. Guys, thank you very much for your support. The channel has slowed down ever so slightly, which is fine. It's my fault. I'm still in the transition of moving jobs. I'm hoping that will... I had to fill so many forms in, and I've had to do training and stuff like that, so I learn how to appraise stuff and price stuff up and things like that. So there's been a lot of training on my part. So I do apologize. I'm just kind of trying to get myself back into some kind of normality, some sort of equilibrium, and then we can carry on with what we were doing before. But I do appreciate all your support. I'm looking to do a live stream on Sunday night, if that's okay with everybody. This week, I'm going to put it on the posts there, and I'll do another video tomorrow and mention it again. If you would like to join me on that, I'd appreciate that. I'll just be answering questions, probably having a cheeky beer, and probably getting to know you guys as I normally do. But guys, thank you so much for your support up until now. I'm really enjoying it. I'm just desperate to get myself back into the channel and enjoy interacting with you guys. And yes, you will see me come back to normal once my life returns to normal. But thank you very much, guys, and hopefully you're having a wonderful week. Hopefully it's fucking baking. And I've barely touched my rosé cider. It's really nice. It's a new one called Brutal. It's lovely. It's very, it's got berries to it, but I feel there's a bit of an elderflower aftertaste. It's very nice. I'm a bit of a beer man myself, but I'll take that. But yes, thanks very much, guys. There you go, a little bit of a beer review, bit of a cider review as well. Thanks, guys, and hopefully you're having a great day, a great week, and I shall speak to you. I'll see you tomorrow for another video. We'll do something else. Okay, I might even do a pickups video. Why not? I'm going to go out and see if I can find some things in the wilds. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. But goodbye, everybody. Bye.